Nearly 30 years ago, I began my post-secondary education studies. Though my parents supported my educational pursuits in many ways, they were not able to do so financially. So that financial burden was one that I largely bore on my own. Better stated, it was a financial investment that I chose to make in my future. To pay for much of my college education, I took on a variety of jobs. I did things like working as a server, running vending routes, serving as a painter's helper, refereeing intramural sports, roofing houses in the hot Texas summer sun, and even working as a teaching assistant at a junior high school. Despite my hard work, though, a shortfall did exist between what my college education cost and what I could earn during those times of work. I made up that shortfall by taking out federal student loans, something I was willing to do because I had counted the costs and the benefits of making that decision on the front side. I knew that it was my individual responsibility to fully repay those loans because I understood that I would be the beneficiary of this decision and this investment in my future. While in the process of taking out these loans, I thoroughly vetted my options and determined which would be most beneficial for my academic journey. I figured out just how much these loans were going to cost me and how long I could expect to pay them off for. And it did. It took me years, but I was willing to do that and always happy that I made that investment. In short, when I took out these loans, I fully understood the financial obligations associated with them, and I willingly accepted those obligations because I knew the long-term benefits for me and my family. As the father of 4 school-aged children, including 2 who are preparing the next step in their journey past high school, it's important that my children understand the options and that they weigh the costs and the benefits, and together we make a decision about what cost and what benefit and what avenue to pursue. I do not expect other families to bear the burdens of the decision that me and my kids are making together, a decision that will certainly benefit them. Unfortunately, this difficult conversation is not one that many families are having or that enough families are having. As a result of this, many first-time students are enrolling in student loan programs not fully understanding the financial responsibilities associated with pursuing higher education, and this has left thousands of students earning degrees that they cannot pay for down the road. Just a couple of days ago, Press Secretary Jean-Pierre said, quote, "If you buy a car, you are expected to pay the monthly payments. If you buy a home, you are expected to pay the mortgage every month. That is the expectation," unquote. For once, I can say that I agree with her. Applying the same principle here, if you take out student loans, you are expected to pay for those student loans, not other people. The student loan forgiveness program proposed by this administration is both unfair and unconstitutional. It's contrary to free market economics. It incentivizes students to take out way more than they need and way more than they can pay back, and it incentivizes colleges and universities to redirect potential funds away from merit-based scholarships to other non-essential expenditures, because everybody knows that the assumption is those loans will get paid off by the government, and neither the students nor the universities have to worry about it. Approximately 92% of all student loan debt in the United States is held by 13% of the population, with a majority of this debt being owned by individuals seeking a graduate or professional degree after obtaining their 4-year degree, something that I did. In East Texas, in my district, nearly 70% of the adults do not have college degrees. The president, by this initiative, is asking these individuals to bear the burdens of those who chose to pursue a college education and to incur the debt associated with it. Despite a majority of my district choosing not to pursue a higher education, this student loan bailout is expected to cost my folks in the 1st Congressional District of Texas over $1.15 billion. When divided by the roughly 770,000 East Texans, that's almost $1,500 per person. It's not the responsibility of my constituents or any taxpaying American to subsidize the loans of those individuals who accept the terms of the loans, who accept the responsibilities associated with them, and also directly benefit from the education funded by the loans. This proposed student bailout is just another example of poor policies from the administration that's going to drive up inflation. It's another tax on the American people that they cannot bear. I concur with the joint resolution sponsored by Mr. Good to revoke the administration's authority and ability to cancel student loans, and I think this is a critical joint resolution for us to pass. No individual should have the authority to single-handedly force hardworking Americans to pay for $400 billion of student loan debt that they do not own. East Texans should not be on the line for other people's loan debt. Hardworking taxpayers should not be on the line for other people's debts. Our own decisions both cost and benefit us both, and we should bear those decisions on our own. With that, I yield back.